A story that was a billion years in the making, of a boy, a girl, and a universe. One of the most dazzling entertainments of all time. Star Wars, next.
One of the longest days for Star Wars fans was February the 1st, 1983, as many of us waited in excitement to get home from school to watch Star Wars on HBO. Welcome back to the Junkman, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with a whole new video. What are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about the premiere of Star Wars on HBO. It was the first time Star Wars was on television, and this was back before most people could rent movies and watch them at home. It was an exciting time. Now, before we get into that, if you'd like to support this channel and get early videos, commentary videos, and more, head over to patreon.com or support the channel by going to thatjunkman.com and buying some cool t-shirts like this Kenner, like this KB Toy Store logo shirt. Again, I always forget what I'm wearing. Now let's talk about HBO and Star Wars. Now I've done a whole video on Star Wars coming to the small screen, where we talked about those making of Star Wars specials, the holiday specials, Star Wars on HBO, the premiere of the Star Wars on the network television channels, and more. So this is more of a look back at just how exciting it was in 1983 to get Star Wars on HBO. Now, I didn't know anything about Star Wars coming to HBO until late December. Almost close to the end of the month, you would get your new HBO guide in the mail. This was a little thin magazine, maybe 10 pages at the most, really thin pages. That was a guide of what's coming up the next month in Star Wars. I can remember the January 1st issue with Superman on the cover. Sure, I was excited that I got to see Superman, but as I flipped through the magazine, and it wasn't until I got to the very last page on the back cover that I really got excited. And there it was, a teaser for what was coming in February, Star Wars. I couldn't believe it. Here we are, months away from the release of Return of the Jedi, and I finally get to see Star Wars at home. And if you had HBO back then, you know you got to see movies over and over again. It's a whole different time with HBO, which I think a lot of you that didn't grow up in the 80s, you probably don't remember how exciting it is to see a movie on HBO. Sure, at this time we were starting to get local video stores, but most people didn't have videotape players, and even then, it was limited to what you could get on videotape. A blockbuster movie premiering on HBO was fantastic. It was really like having a theater at your house. And it was also a great way to find new movies. Now don't get me wrong, I love everything at the fingertips now. Netflix and on-demand, YouTube, everything like that. But you kind of miss out, I think, on some of that just finding random stuff. I remember one time just flipping over to HBO and watching the big red one just because it had Mark Hamill in it. Now people really don't channel surf unless they're going through something like Netflix or Hulu and just see a picture to a movie they want to check out. It was something about just turning on HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, the movie channel, on one of those, having no idea what the movie is, and just watching it because it's on HBO. There was a lot of new movies I discovered that I know I wouldn't have by just walking into a video store and trying to decide on a box if I wanted to rent it or if it was just on something like Netflix and I was going down a list and saw the poster to it. Now, I don't want to sound like that grumpy old man. Back in my day, but it's true. Back in my day, it was fun. It was exciting when HBO came out with new stuff. And any of you that grew up in the 80s also might remember every year, Wizard of Oz would come on television. And it was a big event because you had no other way to watch it. But let's get back to HBO. They did a lot of advertisement leading up to this. I don't know how I didn't know about this until the HBO guide hit my house, but I'm sure they were already doing some heavy promotion of it in December. And I know at this time I was watching HBO a lot because every time they would show The Man Who Saw Tomorrow, I had to watch it, although it would really scare me. I don't know if it was Orson Welles' voice or the fact that it's about somebody that can see into the future. But if you've never seen the movie, The Man Who Sees Tomorrow, it used to creep me out when I was a kid and see it on HBO. But every time it come on, I would have to watch it. Now, they had a lot of different types of promos. So let's take a look at some.
HBO.
Now,
HBO takes you to the farthest reaches of space, to Star Wars.
I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
The Force will be with you.
And on HBO, this is just the beginning. There's much more, from exclusive live World Championship boxing to Academy Award-winning movies like Chariots of Fire.
Now, HBO wasn't the only one to premiere Star Wars on February the 1st, 1983. The other one was the Movie Channel. This one's always overlooked. When people talk about the first time Star Wars was on TV, they go right to HBO. A lot of people forget that the Movie Channel also premiered Star Wars, and it was the only place to see Star Wars on television in stereo. Whew, exciting. At the end of January, we got the February issue of HBO Guide. I couldn't wait for this. I knew Star Wars was going to be on the cover, and there it was showing February 1st, the premiere of Star Wars. I couldn't wait. It was going to come on at like 7 o'clock, so I knew it was going to be a long school day. I couldn't wait to get home. It was on my mind all day. Star Wars. Finally, can watch it at home. Sure, I had the record album that told me the story of Star Wars. Sure, I saw the making of Star Wars here and there on TV, saw some clips. And I had the Kenner Viewmaster, and I had the action figures. But I hadn't seen Star Wars since probably 1982. So you can understand my excitement and why it was hard to go to school. Then at the end of January, I found out they were going to bump up the showtime for Star Wars. It was going to premiere at 12 o'clock midnight. Now this was a time before HBO had a West Coast feed and East Coast feed. So it meant that some on the West Coast would get to see it 3 hours earlier before 1 o'clock. How lucky was them? And kids like me, I couldn't watch it at 1 o'clock. I had to wake up and go to school. I remember trying to play sick because Star Wars was going to be shown almost all day. I knew at 8 a.m. they were going to show Star Wars.
HBO has changed its schedule to bring you a special sneak preview of the movie worth staying up for. Be watching Monday night at 1, midnight Central Time, for Star Wars.
Don't remember any of the other fans buzzing about it like I was. I was telling everybody I could. Hey boys, Star Wars tonight. Hey Justin, Star Wars tonight. Hey Amy Kobe, want to come over to my house and watch some Star Wars? But nobody really seemed to be excited about it as I was. This was a big event. Being my age at this time, I was probably more excited about this than I was for Empire Strikes Back, believe it or not. But finally, school was over and I was headed home. This was by far the longest day I can remember. I remember walking home, took the key out of my kangaroo shoe, let myself in the house, and turned it on HBO, hoping that maybe they were showing Star Wars early, because I think it was going to come on around 7 o'clock. But they've been showing it all day, so maybe I'd get lucky and catch the end of it. But no luck, no Star Wars. I had to wait it out.
The adventure.
They're coming in too fast!
The magic.
The Force will be with you, always.
The spectacle.
Good luck!
HBO presents the landmark movie event that pioneered a whole new era in space fantasy entertainment. Star Wars, a winner of 7 Academy Awards. Tomorrow on HBO.
Went out, tried to waste some time, went to ride bikes around the neighborhood with my friend, then got home and I was on the edge of my seat. Being that we only really had one TV in the living room, I had to let everyone know. I'm watching Star Wars, 7 o'clock. Sorry, if you want to watch something else, you're going to have to go next door. We're watching Star Wars in this house. So I got my Jiffy Jif popcorn and sat down to watch it. And I was so excited when I heard that coming up next on HBO, Star Wars.
The following feature has been rated PG by the Motion Picture Association of America. Parental guidance is suggested.
There it was, Star Wars in my home. I couldn't believe it. Sure, it was pan and scan. It wasn't widescreen or letterbox, and the sound wasn't that great. Wasn't in stereo. Didn't have the movie channel at this time. But I don't care. I loved it. I was excited about it. But me and my brother watched Star Wars, the whole thing, from beginning to end. Loved every second of it like it was the first time we ever saw it. Now, I'm not sure how you guys are going to feel about this video because it's not really anything about Star Wars on HBO. It's more that I wanted to capture the hype of it, to let everyone know that didn't grow up in this time period, how hyped it was that Star Wars was coming to TV, at least with Star Wars fans like myself. It's a time that's lost with the ages. We'll never get that hyped about something being on TV ever again. Movies today, they come out on DVD, within 3-4 months at the most? But we're talking 1983 here. We're talking 6 years of Star Wars before we got to see it at home. Sure, we had some re-releases here and there, but for the most part, this was the first time we've seen Star Wars in years. Again, I would just kind of want to talk about this time because it was an exciting time period I think a lot of people forget about, especially Star Wars fans. We talk about the release of the films, waiting in line, and we talk about buying the toys and everything. But I think a lot of us forget about this magical time, February 1983, when Star Wars premiered on HBO or the movie channel in stereo. I want to thank you for watching. Please thumb up this video so I know you like my content, and most importantly, YouTube knows you like it and will share it with more people. And please subscribe to the channel, and in the comment section below, let me know, did you watch Star Wars when it premiered on HBO? Was you excited as me? Or maybe it was just me. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Fred, take us out of here.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.